And here's a guy that was right there when it all started, Mr. Bobby Whitlock. And he's got a friend over there named CoCo Carmel, like Carmel, California.
Right.
Friend and wife.
Huh?
Friend, wife, partner.
For real?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll be doggone. Bobby.
Yeah, we've been married 14 years, been together like 15 years.
Is that right, Bobby? Folks, this is Bobby Whitlock. He's one of the most successful guys to ever come out of Memphis music. Went to England, hooked up with Eric Clapton. It's a long story. We'll get into that on the Layla album and all. And Clapton doing a wonderful thing that he did really made my respect for Clapton go up a million times. What he did. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Bobby, now Derek and the Dom, when you went to England, Steve Cropper bought you a ticket, right?
Yeah.
And
It's his idea.
You were broke, and you knocked on Clapton's door.
Yep.
And he said, "Come on up, Bobby, and pick out your room."
That's it.
Well, and then he didn't have Derek and the Dominoes then?
No. It was just Derek and me, and he really didn't have a plan. He didn't know what he was going to do. I didn't go over there to put a band together. I went over there just to kind of chill out for a little bit after being with Delaney and Bonnie and friends for so long and going through all of that craziness. But Eric and I just picked up our friendship over a cup of tea. We didn't even play guitar the first couple of days, and then the next thing you know, we started picking up guitar and playing with each other and started writing some songs, and we didn't really talk about putting a band together right away. We were just writing and playing and being friends, getting to know each other. And we went to lunch one time at an English cafe, and so I went to pay for lunch, and I couldn't pay for lunch. And I said, I guess I'm going to have to go back to States. I don't know what I'm going to do or where I'm going to go. He said, I thought we were putting the band together. He said, I don't have any money either, man. So let's go down to the office tomorrow and we'll get us a draw. And so we got us a 150-pound draw each. I'm sure that he was getting money every week anyway, but and he said that was it. And we went back to his house. This is true. Went back to his house, sitting in the dining room area. And phone rang. He picked it up. He said he was over and standing. He's going, yeah, sounds good to me. Well, I'll talk to Bobby about it. Okay, all right. If we can do a couple of these songs during the session that we've written. I said, okay, great, got a deal. Hung up, and he said, that was George. He wants us to go ahead and put a band together. He's getting ready to record his solo record.
George Harrison.
Yeah, George Harrison. And he said he's getting ready to record his solo record. He wants us to go ahead and put the band together. So I called Jim and I called Carl. And Eric had played with us on the live tour. So Eric, and our band, this is a good band. We had Jim Gordon on drums, Carl Radel on bass, Delaney Bramlett and Bonnie. Delaney was playing rhythm. I was on organ. Bobby Keys and Jim Price on the horn section. And our guitar players were Eric Clapton, George Harrison, and Dave Mason.
Wow, what a band.
Pretty good band, huh?
What a band.
Yeah, I was in that band. Sometimes it's hard for me to even believe that I was a part of all of that.
You were really a keyboard player, weren't you, Bobby?
I was a keyboard player and sang.
Well, so when Clapton decided that there was going to be a group, who came up with Derek and the Dominoes?
Well,
that name, it was a cool name.
It turned out our first show. Dave Mason was going to be. He was Domino for a day. First concert was Dr. Spock's concert at the Lyceum, and it's a charity thing for Dr. Spock, Baby Doctor, and. We hadn't decided on the name. It wasn't going to be Eric Clapton and Friends. It was Eric Clapton and his band or any of that. It was, we hadn't come up with a name. And a guy named Tony Ashton, it was Ashton, Gardner, and Dyke. And they were a band that opened up for us when we were on tour. He was going to, like, the MC. And we were always kidding around with each other, calling, somebody by their other name, or some fictitious made-up name, And wound up, Eric was Derek, and I was a strawberry alarm clock. So, everybody was something different, And we hadn't decided, and the guy said, we're getting ready to bring you on. He said, well, did you guys come up with a name for your band yet? And we were like really getting ready to go on stage, and Tony Ashton said, I'll take care of it. And so we thought it was going to be like the Dynamics. Yeah. Thought that was pretty cool, the Dynamics. Good. Yeah. Not mentioning, he was going to be in a band that didn't mention his name. He wanted to hide still. He wasn't ready to come out to be the solo artist yet. Yeah. And Tony Ashton went out and introduced us as, ladies and gentlemen, Derek and the Dominoes. I had this flash of seeing us all in this kind of like all the same color, flesh tone, 3-inch cuff zoot suits, you know, complete with chain and everything, except Eric had one of a different color. So that's what I saw when we were the Dominoes. But what's in the name, you know?
But yeah, but it was a good name.
It's a good name. It stuck.
And it stuck. And a lot of hits came out of Derek. Layla,
yeah.
well, that was the biggest, wasn't it?
That was the biggest. Bell Bottom Blues.
You wrote Bell Bottom Blues, didn't you?
I did. And I wrote with Eric. Yeah. And I've only just been giving my acknowledgement on it just as of late in the last couple of months. And I'll tell you what happened.
Right there, but let me insert, if I may, Bobby. Bobby Whitlock from Memphis, ladies and gentlemen. This is Miss CoCo Carmel, and Bobby is back in town for a while, going to be doing some shows around Memphis. And I was talking to Bobby the other day, and something happened. If you know anything about show business or songwriting or publishing or whatever, and who owns what, I got to tell you this. Bobby got in some dire straits like we all do, and he was broke. And so he had to sell the rights. Now, Bobby, if I'm wrong with somebody's correct me, but you had to sell the rights to those songs that you wrote, Part of Lala, Bell Bottom Blues, Tell the Truth, Any Day Now, or whatever, Any Day. And then Clapton heard about it.
Well, here's what
Tell the story, Bob.
Here's what happened. When CoCo and I first got together, it seemed that everyone in my past was always, all they really wanted from me was money that they thought I had. And it seemed like that was the most important thing about me. I'm talking about everybody in my world, okay? And when CoCo and I got together, I decided I wanted to eliminate that. And so I sold all the rights. I didn't have any money, and I sold all the rights to everything. And so to give CoCo and me a new start, a fresh start in our lives. And of course, you know, that money doesn't last very long. You know, it went to somebody else, and because it's just money, and it comes and goes, you know. Here a while back, how long has it been?
About 6 years ago.
About 6 years ago, Michael Eaton, Eric's attorney and partner, and he's also our attorney, and he was Lady Di's attorney. Well, he gave me a call and he said, "You might want to sit down." And so when somebody says that, I go ahead and sit down.
Yeah.
I was already sitting. You know?
Yeah.
And so I said, "What is it?" I'm thinking the worst. He said, "Well, we're getting ready to release the 40th anniversary of the Derek and the Dominoes, the box set." And Eric asked me, "What's Bobby going to see from this?" And he said, I told him nothing. He said, "Why is that?" And he said, "Because he sold all of his rights." And he said, "That's not right." And so he and Michael got a team of attorneys and went into Warner Chapel and bought all the rights to my music back and my every bit of the income that I ever received.
Layla was in there, of course.
All of it was in there, and he bought them all back, and they restored my rights to me, and all of my copyrights back to me, and I didn't even know about it, and they did it, and it was a signed, sealed, and delivered deal. And just as like with the Bell Bottom Blues, I was on Facebook, and someone brought up a thing about I Just Want to See His Face, a Rolling Stones song, and about that being Keith on piano. I said, no. It's not him on piano, that's me on piano. I'm playing piano and Just Want to See His Face, and told the story, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody else right away said, "Well, what about this? Is it true that Bell Bottom Blues was written about a pair of jeans?" And I went, "Well, partly true." And then I went, "I better not put anything out like this until I run it by Eric to see." And so I wrote Eric, I sent him an email, and I said, "Just to refresh your memory, now I'm going to tell this story, but I want to make sure that it's okay with you." And I said, "Do you remember?" I said, "You came with me, the guitar, and you said, 'What do you think about this?' I was standing in the doorway of the TV room at Hurtwood Edge, Eric's house, and he goes, and he started to sing, and he got the first verse, second verse, and got to the end of it and didn't have a line. I said, "You won't find a better loser." And then we went into the TV room, and I wrote this bit about, do you want to see me crawl across the floor? Do you want to hear me beg you to take me back? I mean, I could see Otis down there on him. I could just see Otis in a lime green suit. That's Otis Redding. Do you want to see me crawl across the floor to you? Do you want to hear me beg you to take me back? That kind of thing. Take me back. And then he comes up with it, I don't want to fade away. And then at the end of the song, he had everything except the very last line again. And so I hit send. And I said, I hope this refreshes your memory. and I hit send, and it wasn't 3 minutes that he wrote back. He said, he's right. I've thought about it, and he's right. And turned out he was actually so up about sending it. He thought he was sending it to Michael, and he sent his reply to me. And then he wrote back to me. He said, sorry about the discrepancy, Bobby, but he is you. I said, I know, I am me.
The fact is that he wrote back so quickly and wanted to do it.
And he did. He made it right.
That is one of the most beautiful showbiz stories I've ever heard.
Well, we're doing this tour that's starting here on September the 11th at the Warehouse.
Yeah.
And it's just CoCo and me. It's just us. No band. And we're doing here, then we go to Nashville, and then to Atlanta, then B.B. King's in New York City on September the 19th. But we're doing all the songs off the Layla record that nobody's ever heard. And nobody's ever heard all these songs done back to back. I mean, Eric might play one song here and one song there, but never did we go out and promote the record. And so I don't have to promote Layla, but it's certainly a nice ride,
Yeah, I know.
I've never used it to further myself. I've never gone out and played all the songs. And when CoCo and I decided to do this, it just seemed like a natural thing to do, and everybody's real excited about it. It's just kind of snowballed.
Well, Bob, what are you and Carmel going to play for us? Miss
Why
CoCo.
don't we play, Keep On Growing?
Sure. Do the whole thing,
We're going to get that on YouTube tomorrow. That'll be all over the country.
It's ready, isn't it?
Bobby Whitlock and CoCo Carmel. Good on them.
Actually, CoCo Carmel Whitlock. We leave the Whitlock off of a professional side of it.
All right, I like that. Yeah. Thanks for coming down, Ben, on Memphis South with George Klein.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Bobby, good luck to you. God bless.
Thank you, man.